All right, I am live. And it's always awkward to start this thing off because no one is here. And if you're listening to the replay, you're like, what is this guy mumbling on about to himself? So hopefully somebody shows up and saves me from my own awkwardness. Anyone. Oh, Kitten, hi. There's our hero. Kitten has saved us from the awkwardness. Yeah, what's going on? Why are you awake? What's happening here? You're supposed to be a night owl and sleeping, and yet here you are waking up. Oh, daughters of Lilith, doll, hello, hello, and Alpha Draconian. Wow, okay. So more people showed up than I thought. So you're all heroes and saved me from being very, very awkward at the start. And you guys might hear Sweet Pea in a second. She's been on one today for some reason, but I hope you're all doing swell on this Sunday morning. It might be Sunday afternoon or Sunday night where you are now, but for me it's still Sunday morning. The rain is not pouring though. Last week it was. Good lord, was it last week? Yeah, she is definitely on one now. She just jumped up. Okay. So anyway, you going to your spot? You going to sleep? All right, you can go ahead. Anyway, yeah, so thank you guys for popping up. Don't know what we're going to chat about for a bit, but we'll chat about something, even if it's the silly cat. And there we go. Like, for those of you who have cats, how annoying can they be at times? Because this one, she's a mostly white cat, but she loves laying on my black clothing, and it drives me freaking bonkers. It's like, and I know she does it on purpose. That's the thing. I know she does it on purpose. I can't prove it, but I know it. Freaking heifer. So, how has your weekend been, you guys? Hopefully, it's been fun and good. I have been watching a lot of wrestling. So, NXT Stand and Deliver was actually quite enjoyable. I saw a few bits and pieces from WrestleMania, which, well, it was to be expected. And it was some interesting matches, though. It was cool seeing Stone Cold come back for, his limited amount of time and pretty much beat up Kevin Owens, which I'm fine with. Cody Rhodes being back, that was interesting, calling himself now the American Nightmare, so I guess he's heel. I kind of knew Bianca would beat Becky. That was just, it was a given. Charlotte and Charlotte and Ronda, that was actually quite surprising. 18-minute match that was decent, with Charlotte winning. So spoilers for whoever hasn't seen WrestleMania. Oops, should have probably said that before, but anyway, okay. I think it's only Kitten and I who like wrestling in here anyway. I think everyone else is like, what are you talking about, Melvin? You're supposed to be talking paranormal, supernatural, scary stuff or something, and you're talking about wrestling. So you guys just learned a little something about myself. I do enjoy wrestling from time to time. And because I'm on the subject, if you enjoy wrestling, be sure to check out our friends at Ministry of Slam. You can find them on YouTube or Twitch, and it's a wrestling podcast, and you don't have to be a wrestling fan to partake and enjoy in it. I've guest hosted last week and did the Unexplained side of the Slam with Lawrence and Lee and everything. A lot of fun. And they also have the Ministry of Slam network is expanding, and they added the Ministry of Horror. So you guys might want to check that out as well if you're into horror movies and just scary stuff that goes stabby stabby. Um, he's the guy who runs it. Very, very cool. And so definitely check them out. Yeah, I saw a couple of whole matches. Um, and what I saw I enjoyed for the most part. I mean, it was enjoyable. It wasn't anything that blew me away, but it was enjoyable. I can say that. Even that idiot Logan Paul or whatever his name is in the Miz, and I can't stand either of them. I think I like Miz just a smidget more than that Paul moron. But even that was enjoyable, surprisingly. So I don't know. It's been enjoyable. It hasn't been as bad as it could have been. It's not as good as, of course, some of the older WrestleManias, but it hasn't been terrible. Um, so kudos to them. It's enjoyable, and I think at the very least that's what you want. You don't want people saying, "Man, that was terrible." I'm gonna remember that because it sucked. I'm not dissing. I'm just calling it like it is. Guy's an idiot and needs to go somewhere. Um, but yeah, so it was enjoyable. I'm somewhat looking forward to night two, but I don't think it's going to be as enjoyable as night one, at least on paper. But that's on paper. Brock and Roman might really surprise me. I doubt it, but it might. So, but I think I still like Stand and Deliver better than night one of WrestleMania. It felt more complete, and the wrestling was just really solid, except for the Fatal Five Way. I didn't care for that too much. Just too many people, too hard to follow. But the freaking tag, the Fatal Four Way tag, that was it Fatal Four Way or Fatal Three Way? I think it was a Fatal Three Way tag team. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It was really good, and the Creed brothers very much remind me of the Steiners. So hopefully they get more experience and they get a push because they can be big. Oh, okay, so sorry, I'm dragging on with the wrestling talk. 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, so we're supposed to talk scary stuff. Well, maybe not scary, but magic stuff, right? No one wants to hear wrestling on Unexplained Possibilities, except for Kitten, because Kitten rules. Not saying that everyone else drools. Okay, Kitten, catch you in a bit. Oh, and I just got a message from a friend in England saying that the cops knocked on their door saying we're about to, if you hear a boom, it's because we're detonating a bomb. So don't fear. Don't be afraid. It's just us blowing something up. Apparently it was a bomb from WW2. So that's interesting. Holy cow. Wow. What a Sunday. So from that, we are now going to transition to a little magic talk. Oh, doll. You like things that go boom, huh? Well, speaking of things that go boom, I was doing some thinking last night, so that's never really a good thing because my head goes boom. Too much thinking, bad for me. I need to just be here, get go good. But I was doing some thinking about magic and everything and how it works, the principles behind it, and how people utilize it. And sure enough, it made my head go boom. But the principles of magic, I have no idea what they are. I don't really understand it. I do think willpower plays a key part in it, And also, in a strange way, I think fear plays a part in it because fear is a very strong feeling and it can dictate whether you're successful or whether you fail at something. And what I mean by that is fear drives us to do a lot of things we think we can't do. So, if you get into the thick of it, let's say you're invoking a spirit or evoking, I always get those two mixed up, and I've had it explained to me what they were several times. But you're afraid of this spirit, you're afraid of the consequences if you mess up whatever ritual you're doing. Well, that fear is either going to cause you to mess up and you have a self fulfilling prophecy, or it's going to cause you to be meticulous in everything you do to where you're not going to mess up. So, fear can very much empower you or it can weaken you. And I think when it comes to magic, not enough people think about the fear of it, the fear that comes with working magic or working with deities. Even in the if you're a paranormal investigator, that fear that you have of the unknown, what's going to happen, I mean, it creates that adrenaline to where it's going to help you or harm you. You know, you go into a haunted place and you're scared to death. Your senses are heightened though because of this fear, and you're going to have, of course, a fight or flight response happening. Chances are it's going to be flight. But because of that fear, that adrenaline that's pumping, it's keeping you somewhat in place, and you're going forward. You're doing this, you're doing that, but then that fear can cause your head to play tricks on you as well. So you do have to be careful with that and recognize it. And oh my gosh, these birds are going crazy. Hush, little bird, little sparrows. Or not, keep chirping. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Anyway, mastery of fear. How do you master fear? That's something to think about, isn't it? How do you master fear? Do you do it by repetition and ultimately seeing there's nothing to be afraid of? Or do you do it by failing and seeing, like, hey, well, I messed up, but I'm still here. So what was I afraid of? You know, which now switches and begs the question: do you fear whatever it is you're dealing with, or do you, if you're working magic or investigating, or do you fear failing? So, for instance, if you're working magic, do you fear that the spell isn't going to work? And if you're doing paranormal investigation, do you fear you're not going to capture anything? You know, fear is weird, man. Again, it's a strength and a weakness. Maybe that'll be a future topic on unexplained possibilities one day, or maybe a I don't even know what they're called now. Good lord, yapping at midnight. There we go. I could not remember the name of the freaking thing. Speaking of which, before I forget, I want to announce this, and I'll probably announce it again at the end. But this should be a fairly busy month. So we should be doing the tarot this week, Bonnie's monthly tarot, and next week I have to get dates, and I probably should formally ask, but I'm hoping next week we can do something, a yapping at midnight with a yapping at midnight with Bonnie and Anima. That should be interesting, unfiltered. Oh dear. And on the 18th, this is the big show, I am trying to put together a ladies night. So that would just, I wouldn't be a part of it exactly. That would be Niema and whatever women decide to join. So far, I have one person who has confirmed to say like, yeah, I'm totally down. So I'm trying to get at least two more. If you're interested, let me know, and we'll see if we can work something out. And hello, paranormal witch. All right, so doll, you said something. I'm going back to it right now. I just didn't want to lose my train of thought, turn into Curtis. Um, that's why reality TV is fake, because it's boring. Otherwise, when nothing happens that day in terms of psychic or paranormal. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of reality TV at all. Ugh, like, I feel it's honestly, it killed actual television shows and actual storytelling, because reality TV, funnily enough, is cheap and fake for the most part. It's more scripted than scripted television, which is ridiculous. I think it's very few actual. Oh, hello, Lydia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think it's actually few real reality television shows. You know, and and the thing is, even the ones that are real, they're still not necessarily real, because sometimes producers or whatever, they'll have them they'll have people re-say a line because it didn't pick up on camera or something like that. So it's interesting, because if there are real moments, then they're taken away because like the sound didn't catch it or whatever. So the producer's like, recreate this and say it like you just said it, and it doesn't work. I mean, if it doesn't catch, it doesn't catch. And then the other problem with reality TV is everyone seems so stupid, like, and overprivileged. You know, there are a few documentaries, however, that are real, that are pretty interesting, and they actually capture real life. And now, because I want to think of it, I can't, but it's a documentary on drug use, and they follow these people for like 20 or 30 years, and it was one of the most fascinating things I have ever watched, and quite disturbing, because this what really, there's a delivery on a Sunday? Well, FedEx, I hope you guys get paid good. They follow these people for like 20, 30 years, and it showed like the actual usage of drugs. Some people got off, some people fell back on. It was disturbing in some ways, because it's like, yeah, I know this very well. Not saying I use drugs. I've never used drugs, but